Hello and welcome to the Post Up Podcast. This is Cyrus Rogers.
And as usual, this is Kaunda Chama.
The usual Kaunda Chama. We're going to be talking about all things Kobe. We're going to be talking about All-Star. It's going to be a good podcast this week. So let's get straight into it, Kaunda. We've got to start with, I suppose, the saddest news of the last couple of weeks, and that's the death of Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
What a legend of the game.
Cyrus, I mean, you can't talk about the NBA without mentioning certain names.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Dr. J, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And I think forever we shall remember that Kobe is one of those names that's synonymous with the league.
And I suppose just to not necessarily recap, but his death in that tragic helicopter accident really sort of put his legacy and focus for a lot of people. Him and his daughter passing away like that. He was also passing the torch on to her. But in terms of the things that he had done on the court, Kobe was really otherworldly sometimes. You look at him scoring that 81 points, and you think, how did any human being do that?
Look, Cyrus, first of all, when I heard about Kobe's death, I don't know what you were like. For me, it was your average Sunday evening. I'm getting ready to watch one of the Sunday games, and you get those WhatsApp messages and the calls, and I remember my wife, who knows that I'm a Kobe fan, came running to our room and to just let me know. It was such a blow.
Yeah.
To start with,
you get the air knocked out of you.
Yeah, the guy had retired, first of all. He had done his 20 straight seasons. He was now starting the second chapter to his life. He was getting into writing, he was getting into movies,
Everything.
He had just,
detail, he was
doing detail. Yeah. And all of a sudden you hear that he's passed. It felt like still such a blow to the game of basketball, or to the sporting industry as a whole.
Exactly, he'd had such an impact, and to see the outpouring of grief and then love for him, and like you say, across the sporting codes, there were soccer players who were sporting Kobe jerseys. At the Australian Open, you had Nick Kyrgios, who was wearing a Kobe jersey in his warm-ups and stuff. It really was something that shook up the whole world when you think about the fact that he'd had such an impact. And this goes back to the whole thing about Mamba mentality. What he stood for in the field of competition, being really a hard competitor, somebody who didn't take no for an answer on the court. He really was a very special kind of player.
Look, Cyrus, one thing I like about Kobe as well is, although he was a basketball star, to him, he didn't just know basketball as a sport. Growing up in Europe, was it Italy that he grew up in? It was Italy. So, as you notice, some of the Italian players also were sporting Kobe jerseys and that, and he liked AC Milan. And one thing I liked about him, he was more than just a basketball star. He transcended different sports. And I remember seeing him here in 2010. That was one of the saddest things for me. 2010, he came here. I think he came to also watch some of the World Cup games.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get within 5 meters of him.
He was a statesman.
He was like a statesman.
Yeah.
I was like, if only I could just touch Kobe, I might have that Mamba mentality myself,
Well,
it might rub off.
You had that Mamba mentality. I remember seeing you in the office with the bin in the one, shooting those papers into the bin. Kobe.
Well, yeah.
You missed most of the time, but you did try. And that was basically the Mamba mentality at work, right?
Never stop, never quit.
What's your fondest memory of him?
Kobe, there's so many fond memories of him. Like, I remember him just being such a lockdown defender. He was a great two-way player, and the biggest one has to be the 81 points against the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah.
I mean, what goes through your mind when you're going, I'm gonna go all out and score. Then there's that other one that really showed me what the Mamba mentality was about, where he got injured. He ruptured his Achilles, but he stayed to take the free throws before he hobbles off the court for treatment. I mean, who does that? Some people can get a little sore finger. Like, I saw Kobe dislocate his finger, get it popped back in, and continue playing.
That's not fun.
I know it's not fun, but it shows you that when you need to get the job done, you get the job done.
And that's exactly it. And I think that's one of the most intriguing things about how the guy works, because when you look at the way Kobe was, he embodied so much in terms of what makes athletes very great competitors. I mean, my fondest memory, I suppose it's weird because I saw something online, and this is always true. If you weren't a Lakers fan, and I know you're a Lakers fan, if you weren't a Kobe fan, and I know I wasn't a Kobe fan, and that was mainly because he kept beating the teams I liked.
Yeah, it's sort of like the Jordan effect.
Exactly.
And if you remember when he came into the league, he says he wants to beat Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
So, you know, as he chased that ghost of Michael Jordan, he also had that sort of Jordan-like effect on people.
And I think this was it, was that for me, the fondest memory isn't like one particular game or anything, it was the entire impact he had, how him and Shaq worked. And then after Shaq left the Lakers, how he continued to strive to make the Lakers competitive and relevant, and he managed to do that. So I always know that Kobe had that drive, that Warriors mentality. You know?
No, stop sneaking in your Golden State Warriors here.
We gotta do it. But it's true though.
Kobe Bryant had the Warriors mentality?
He was
Which Warriors?
A warrior.
Oh, okay,
You've heard the word before, right?
I want clarity here, because you're sneaking in team names. ... Yes.
Meant a warrior, not warriors.
Thank you.
Shout out to the Warriors. But I think the thing
But Cyrus, his final game against the Utah Jazz though. Yeah. How was that?
Look, he went out the way he came in.
Was it Shaq that told him go for 50 and he's like, nah fam, I'm going for 60. Only Kobe would do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Only Kobe would do that.
You know, he'll be really, really, really well remembered as being somebody who was just an incredible presence, bigger than basketball. And I think his impact will be felt for many, many decades to come. And we'll see what happens with the foundation and how things carry on around Kobe's legacy as he moves forward. But we got to move forward now, and we're going to be talking about one of the big events in world sport, in world basketball. That's the NBA All-Star Weekend. I mean, it's so good they got to make a weekend out of it.
Yep.
So, you know, you got the Rising Stars Challenge.
Kind of like my birthday.
It's the birthday month for you. You know,
so it's so good, I got to stretch it out.
Well, at your age. But anyway, you know, you got to take it easy. It's not going to be racing through things.
No.
But you know, you got Rising Stars Challenge and the celebrity game taking place on Friday night.
Yep.
Then All-Star Saturday is the slam dunk competition, the skills challenge, and the three-point contest.
Yep.
And then the big one, the NBA All-Star game that takes place on Sunday in the US. It's happening in Chicago.
Yep.
I've seen pictures from people who are in Chicago at the moment, because obviously it's happening very soon. The snow is piling up.
Look, if you're there for the All-Star game, it doesn't matter. Make a plan.
Heat on the inside, freezing on the outside.
Cyrus, as I am dressed right now, if you sent me to Chicago, I would go.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it.
I'll be on the next
Though
plane.
I know about you and the cold, so you know, he talks a big game, but he wouldn't be there. Anyway, there is a lot of events that we're looking forward to. Let's start with what you're looking forward to seeing, and then we'll talk about some of the players that we've got to look out for. What's the big event for you, though?
Look, obviously the game, but we'll get into that later. But Saturday night is my favorite night because, you know, from the skills challenge, you know, you just see players having fun. It's a great way to get in. Then you got the three-point contest.
Yeah.
You know, and I've seen great guys win that, from Steph Curry to Aaron Gordon to, you know, like I remember one year it was Steph and Clay, Steph Curry and Clay Thompson, and they were just going at it, you know. And but my favorite of that night is always the slam dunk contest.
But isn't that the thing? And I guess, you know, growing up when dunking was the thing.
Yeah.
So you wanted to see how high guys could jump or what kind of dunks, you know, and the creativity. It's really gotten insane now, because I remember for me, one of the most insane dunks wasn't even all that spectacular in terms of the actual dunk itself, but the guy jumped over a car. Blake Griffin jumped over a car to dunk a ball. That's how he says it, but that was insane. I was like, this is amazing.
Whether the car was there or not, Blake Griffin can jump that high. Now let me tell you.
Okay.
Some of my favorite contests, right? Yeah. Watching Dominique Wilkins and Michael Jordan go at it. I know I'm showing my age here.
Yeah.
But you know, watching that
was in black and white, I think. Yeah.
And watching Nate Robinson and Spud Webb, you know, players
some of the shortest guys,
the shortest guys taking part in that thing. And then a guy who's coming back this year, I think,
Aaron Gordon,
who might redeem himself, because
he was robbed.
I will still say he was robbed in 2016 in Toronto when Zach LaVine took that. I've never seen a guy take a ball from a rotating,
like a player, or even like, you know,
it was
the mascot was
holding the ball, rotating. He sat down in midair, put the ball underneath his feet,
legs,
and dunked, and he came second.
Yeah, they should have actually just stopped it. I know.
Let's move on.
Tears in my eyes.
Big shout out to Vince Carter, though. That dunk will never be done again.
So you're talking about the fact that the dunk contest is one of the big things for you, and then obviously the All-Star game.
The All-Star game, yeah, definitely.
Because you know, it's weird for me in the sense that one of the things I've always loved is the three-point contest. I love that.
Because you can't shoot threes. Oh, there is that.
I guess.
You know, it's like aspirational to you.
Better.
Like I can shoot threes. I got videos on Instagram.
Yeah.
Moving right along.
Okay, After Effects. But the thing for me is the Rising Stars Challenge. I love seeing that on the Friday because it's almost like seeing the All-Star game before the All-Star game.
True.
You know, where you're actually getting to see some of these guys who haven't quite made it yet. But this season, we're seeing something special in the sense that Luka Doncic and Trae Young are leading the Rising Stars Challenge, Team World versus Team USA lineups, but they are also in the main All-Star game happening on the Sunday. So you don't see that often.
Not
I
that
think the last
often,
time was Jason Kidd and I think who else would have been in his draft class, or Grant Hill.
Yep.
So, you know, they would have been the last guys who would have been like rookies to play, or rather sophomores or rookies to play in the All-Star
And Cyrus, what I love about that, right, is Luka ends up on Team World, and Trae Young ends up on Team US. And they battled it out because now they're sophomores. They battled it out as rookies for the Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
So it's like the battle continues.
Their story is pretty much like Magic Johnson and
Larry Bird.
They will forever be tied together. Whatever Luka does, Trae has got to follow suit. And
and try and do better.
It's going to be beautiful to see because we might see the growth of new dynasties in terms of Dallas and Atlanta being the big teams rather than Boston and LA.
I love the way you dreamed though, but big shout out to the LA Lakers.
Okay. I hear you.
I can see it. Dallas versus Atlanta NBA Finals. Not.
Couple of years down the line, who would have thought the Warriors would be where they were now? You know, so I suppose now is not so great, but
let's not
the last
say
couple
now.
of years. So let's look at the African players that people need to look out for, because that's one of our major focuses. And I suppose in the Rising Stars Challenge, we've got a couple of guys to look out for. You got Josh Okogie, the Nigerian-American guy. He's going to be playing on Team World.
Yep.
I think you've also got DeAndre Ayton, who's Bahamas/Nigeria.
Yeah, he's got the Bahamas-Nigerian connection, yeah.
Rui Hachimura, Japanese, Beninese
connection.
We'll
claim them. Yeah. If you've got an ounce of Africa in you, we'll claim you.
We got you. And Eric Pascal, who's going to be on Team USA, who's also got Liberian links. So there's a lot of youngsters to look out for, and I think that'll be one of the aspects that we'll love watching those guys take part.
Most definitely. But in the main event, though.
Yeah, the main event is what it's all about, right?
Yep. The main event, the African players we're looking forward to, obviously, is the Nigerian Targaryen, Giannis Antetokounmpo.
So you got Team LeBron versus Team Giannis. And Team Giannis, I mean, Nigerian, Greek, he's just an incredible player.
Look, he's the reigning MVP.
Yeah.
What more can we say about
For a
this guy?
reason.
Most improved player, reigning MVP. All he needs is a championship.
Yeah.
And then he can...
I think he's well on his way towards it. And newly minted dad.
Oh, yes.
So he's just racking up the accolades.
So, with all pun intended, he stays freaky.
That is what he has said himself. We're not putting words in his mouth. But in terms of the African players, I mean, Giannis went really deep in the African players for Team Giannis.
He took them all, bro.
He did. He just scooped them up.
Like brothers, let's go.
So who's on his team? It's Pascal
Siakam from the Toronto Raptors. He's got Joel Embiid from
Philadelphia
the 76ers. And he's also got our favorite, Bam Adebayo.
Oh, Idris Bam Adebayo. Nigerian American, that kid is special. He's special. The Heat have got somebody really, really good there. But when you look at it and you think, all of these players, Team Giannis is stacked with a lot of really good talent. He didn't just go, I only want African guys.
No. He's got Kemba Walker. He's the one who got Trae Young.
Yeah.
So, he's starting five. His starters they're amazing. But
Team LeBron.
Team LeBron, though.
Yeah, your guys.
Team LeBron.
You love LeBron James.
Of course.
I think he's rated. Could LeBron James be from Zambia?
Potentially. I would never refute that.
We don't really know. We'll have to go and look back and see. But Team LeBron, I mean, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Kawhi Leonard, Luka Doncic, and James Harden. That beats any
Can
NBA
you say
team.
Winners?
Yeah. But having said all of that, right? When I look at Team Giannis and I think, okay, so Giannis, Joel, Pascal, Kemba, and Trey, that is a pretty good team.
It's going to be fire. I'm telling you,
That is a
Cyrus,
pretty good team.
I might be mouthing off about Team LeBron, but Team Giannis should not be
I'll say
slept
one
on.
thing, and maybe this is going to be controversial.
Okay.
The weakest link for me in Team Giannis is potentially Kemba Walker.
Ooh.
Potentially, if you're looking at it from a matchups perspective, because if Luka is, up against any of the Kemba or Trae Young, he's bigger than those guys.
Absolutely.
And he's got a good shot, so the defense on him is going to be tough. Kemba will definitely be able to get past him, but in terms of stopping like a Luka or a James Harden, it's going to be a bit rough. Anyway, sorry Kemba, I didn't mean to be like that, but I was like that though. Let's go into it. Who you got? Team LeBron or Team Giannis?
Naturally, Team LeBron. Cyrus, LeBron James, he's got something to prove this season, whether it's in the finals, regular season, whether it's
Even in the movie business.
Even in the movie business. He's got something coming. I think for him to pick James Harden, to pick Anthony Davis, and to get Kawhi Leonard, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And Luka Doncic, who is one of the best guards in the league and is the reigning Rookie of the Year.
It's tough.
Then you add King
tough.
James, GOAT James.
Oh,
Super
I'm still
duper.
going to go with Giannis Antetokounmpo. I think Team Giannis is going to win this, mainly because if there's one guy who always battles hard, it's Giannis. Even in All-Star games, that guy, he doesn't know what it means to not defend.
True.
So when you look at it, and you look at the lockdown defense that you will get from like a Giannis, Pascal, and Joel, they can do it. They can do it. Anyway, we're going to agree to disagree. Make sure you're watching the NBA All-Star Game. That's it for the Post Up Podcast this week. Thank you so much for joining us, and make sure you watch again next week.
Yeah.
From me, Cyrus Rogers.
And from me, Kaunda Chama.
It's later, and we'll see you in 7.